Measuring segments. Objectives: to find and compare lengths of segments. Every point on a line can be paired with a real number. This makes a one-to-one correspondence between points on the line and real numbers. The real number that corresponds to a point is called the coordinate of the point. Why do we use number points on a line? It's so that we can find the segment length. The distance between points A and B is an absolute value of the difference of their coordinates, or absolute value of A minus B. This value is also AB, or the length of segment AB. Find the length of each segment. So the first segment is BD. So B to D. We're going to say the absolute value of -6 minus 3. So I get the absolute value of -9, which makes it 9. The other way to think of this, from 6 to 0 is 6 units, and then from 0 to 3 is 3 units, and 6 plus 3 is 9. Okay, now we're looking at the segment length of CE, from C to E. Now most of us can realize that from 1 to 7 is a unit of 6, but if we had to show our work, we'd say the absolute value of 1 minus 7 is the absolute value of -6, which is 6. And you could reverse these. If I'd have said 3 minus a -6, I'd have had the absolute value of 9, which also gives me 9. On the second one, I could have said 7 minus 1, which is 6, so I'd have the absolute value of 6, which is also 6. So the order doesn't matter. Segment addition postulate. If 3 points A, B, and C are collinear, and B is between A and C, then A plus B and AB plus BC is equal to AC. And to draw a picture, if I have 3 collinear points, here's A, B is between A and C. That means that segment AB plus segment BC is equal to AC. So each part is equal to the whole. Or each part, the sum of each part is equal to the whole, sorry. In the diagram, JL is 120. What are JK and KL? Okay, so if we know the total length from here to here is 120, I can set up an equation that says 4x plus 6 plus 7x plus 15 is equal to 120. I need to combine my like terms. So 4x plus 7x is 11x, plus 6 plus 15 is 21, equals 120. I'm going to subtract 21 from both sides, and I'm going to get 11x equals 99. Divide both sides by 11, and I get x equals 9. Now, I'm not done because that's not what the question asks. The question asks, what are the lengths of JK and KL? So I have to plug these back in. So I'm going to take 4 times 9 plus 6. And 4 times 9 plus 6 would give me 42. And then 7 times 9 plus 15 would give me 78. So for my answer, I can say JK is equal to 42 and KL is equal to 78. When numerical expressions have the same value, you say that they are equal. Similarly, if two segments have the same length, then the segments are congruent segments. And the symbol for congruent is an equal sign with this similarity symbol on top. It's a symbol for congruent. Example 3. It says use the diagram above. Is segment AB congruent to segment DE? Okay, so first I'm going to find AB. So I have this linked, and DE. Well, AB is 2, 4, 5 units long, because I can count that, or you could take -2 minus, this is at 3, -2, the absolute value of -2 minus 3, and I get the absolute value of -5, which is 5. Or here I have 2, 4, because it's going by 2s, that's why I'm counting by 2s. Or you could say the absolute value of 10 minus 14, which is the absolute value of -4, which is 4. The midpoint of a segment is a point that divides a segment into two congruent segments. A point, line, ray, or other segment that intersects a segment at its midpoint is said to bisect the segment. That point, line, ray, or other segment is called a segment bisector. Draw an example. So first we have to start off with a segment. So we'll say segment AB, and we want to find the point that it intersects where, and we'll call this point M for midpoint. Segment AM is equal to segment BM. Now at this point we could draw a ray from M, or we can draw a line. It doesn't matter. Whoops, helps if I hit the line. This would be an example of a bisector. Example 4. U is the midpoint of segment TV. What are TU, UV, and VT? Or sorry, TV, same thing. Okay, well, if I know that U is the midpoint, that means that I know that segment UT and segment UV are congruent to each other, or equal to each other. So that helps me set up the equation that 8x plus 11 is equal to 12x minus 1. And I'm going to use algebra to solve for x. So the first thing I want to do is subtract 8x from both sides. And so now I have 11 equals 4x plus 1. Or sorry, minus 1. And so now I'm going to add 1 to both sides. And I have 12 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4. And I get 3 equals x. Okay, now guys, if you were taking an ACT test or a multiple choice test, I can almost guarantee that one of the choices, and it's probably going to be A, is the answer is 3. And it's because it's a distracting answer. They didn't ask what x was. They want to know what TU, UV, and VT are equal to. So you have to make sure that you're answering the question that was asked. Okay, so TU is going to be equal to, and we're going to plug in our x value into the equation. So we have 8 times 3 plus 11, which is going to give me 24 plus 11, which is 35. And if we did this right, UV should equal the same thing, but you always want to check to make sure you're right. So we have 12 times 3 minus 1. 12 times 3 is 36, minus 1 is 35. And then TV is going to be 35 plus 35, which is 70.